All right, back it up a little bit. Whew, excuse me. All right, what's going on, everybody? Yes, we are doing another late night stream here. Late night musings, as we call it here, of course. Something you already know. Um, get to why I decided to do that here in a minute. But those of y'all, what if you're filing in here just as we start doing this live here, or if you're watching the replay, either way, greatly appreciate y'all coming in here and just hanging out with us on what's been, at least here, a very hot, humid Monday overall. It's been just tickling right under the hundreds here. It's been quite toasty. But those of y'all new to the channel here, again, filing in now or watching the replay, my name's Austin, and this is Fantastic Freaks Late Night Musings. I'm starting to think I might even try to do maybe one of these every like once a month or something, because I know some of y'all like this and such, but I don't know if I'd want to get rid of the afternoon one either. But that's a side thing. Going through the chat at here, we got Leo 209 Aquatics. How's it going, Leo? Good to see you as always. All right. My speaker is not the speaker, microphone rather, is not all the way turned on. Let's crank that up just a wee bit. Pardon me. There we go. All right. Now we're all aboard. All right. So yeah, just coming on board here and just a chance to hang out with you guys here mostly for the evening here. I know 10 o'clock, usually I start at like 10:30 or later. Got a lot of stuff going on here lately, which is also part of the reason why I didn't end up going live earlier, because tis the season for sports writers now to unfortunately get a little more busy now, as football season is starting to roll right around the corner, as is volleyball, cross country here in Iowa, as well as some golf and swimming as well. So things in the day job are about to really pick up here again, and they waste no time doing so. They really make us hit the ground running. But alas, I've done this now for 3 years, so we'll get through it though. All right, but overall here, I see Leo there with another question. Eventually, it'll pull up there. What size tank do I have Finley in, and how much do I feed her? Well, currently she is in a 150-gallon tank, which the footprint is 4 feet long, 2 feet front to back. Is well, that's the normal footprint of it. It's basically like a 120, but just taller. I am thinking of putting her, of course, in a plywood tank, which I'm sure, of course, you know, Leo, because, well, I see you in my videos there as well. But gonna get her in something bigger there, and if my aquarium capacity calculations are about correct, they're not finalized, so I won't rehearse them too much. That, and I kind of don't remember all the measurements right now on top of it. It's gonna be a diamond shape, so it's gonna be a little bit of a. It's harder to figure out the overall aquarium volume to that than it is just a rectangular box, of course. But yeah, 150. I feed her half clams. That's her new favorite. Although I do occasionally give her frozen krill as well. She doesn't like the freeze dried krill. I tried it one time and just not a fan of it, which I kind of expected. Um, she likes live crayfish, live ghost shrimp as well. Though the live ghost shrimp I don't really do anymore because they're not all that substantial to her anymore. It happens when she grows up to be about 15 inches, which is about where she is right now, maybe even a little bit over that, probably. Um, yeah, that's the main thing that I give right now. Of course, I pick out some pest snails for my tanks here every once in a while to give her a small little snack as well. I try to give all my puffers, Finley included, various things in their diet. In terms of Mac, he is over here in the corner, actually. Whoop. And I just about way knocked that off there, but yep. He's right over there. He's a big boy, but he's starting to hang out more towards the edges. He knows the sweet spots where he can and cannot be seen, but And he's actually, I tell you what, I said earlier that he was going to go on a growth spurt. He's really, really starting to get on a growth spurt here. I mean, he just, I mean, yeah, I just, as Julia's comment says, he's growing every stream. Like, I think he's easily up to now about 9 inches now, which I'm my upcoming video here on the fish room tour is going to show its age a little bit because I was initially saying it was going to be that he's a little over 8, and well, I guess that's true. He is a little over 8. I'd say Mac, now our Mabu puffer over there, he's probably more like 9 inches now. Crazy to think though of just for Mabu puffer at least, just how much further that little guy has to go. And I don't know why I say little, because 9 inches, at least to me, is not that small of a fish. But Justin H, welcome aboard, man. How is the Cross River doing, and what tank is he in? Hercules, the name of the Cross River puffer, he's doing well. He is currently in a 75-gallon tank right now. He's, I'd say he's about 10, 11 inches right now, so he's still got a couple inches on Mac here yet, who's slowly starting to make himself more known, aren't you, buddy? Here, come on over here. Or just go to the total opposite. Finley, which you won't be able to see on the screen here either. Here we go. I'll move the camera over here a little bit. Finley over there is also kind of going all about there. It's getting about the time to where they get their late night snacks before I turn their lights off and such, which I'll probably do once I end the stream here, give them their final round of half shells and krill and such. But yeah, Hercules is doing well, Justin. He's I'm starting to get him to also eat some half clams as well. He loves eating some snails as well. So we're expanding his diet. He at first was only wanting to take frozen krill, which is not something I ever want to do. I never want my fish to just eat one thing, especially puffers, because they will get bored if you only feed them one thing, I learned. And if they don't want to eat anything else, you can imagine where that can be pretty stressful for you and the fish. But yeah, we're expanding his diet. He's taking half clam shells now, even though he's gotten smart. He knows how to work around the shell and just get the meat out to where he doesn't have to work for it, the clever little dork. But he is doing well. All right. How much difference is it to take care of a cross river puffer versus other African puffers? Honestly, Leo, not a ton. I mean, honestly, with the little info that's out there for cross rivers, I just been kind of treating my cross river almost like I would my Fahaka. I mean, yeah, tropical water temperatures. I mean, same thing. I mean, a cross river is, I mean, obviously, yeah, they're both African-based puffers. So is a Mabu, but I mean, obviously, temperaments there are a little bit different. I haven't ever tried to put tank mates in my cross river puffer. I don't honestly know if I'm going to try to either. I may not. I don't know yet. But a lot of people say that their temperaments are more similar to the Fahaka, which would make sense because in terms of size-wise and really even coloration, they're a little more comparable to the Fahaka. But I don't know. I might try it at some point. Maybe, try to put some minnows in there with them. And, if they're sticking around and I'm not noticing any of them go missing, kind of like what we did with Mac here to start in the 510, then maybe we'll try that. But if they end up going missing or I see him maybe pestering or chasing them around, well, then we'll have our answer. And if he does catch them, well, at least then we don't miss out on much. As much as I don't want any fish to get hurt or, killed, that is the cycle of life in the wild. I mean, fish eat fish, so at least if he eats the minnows, you're not out a lot of money versus like if you put like rummy nose tetras and cardinals in, like I have here. Ooh, Leo, coming out with all sorts of the good questions. I see some other ones here. Well, actually, Leo, let me get back to your question. I'll get back to you here in a minute. We got some other folks coming in here saying hello, including one of my awesome moderators, Matt, Liquids and Only Fins. How's it going, Matt? Good to see you, sir. Let's see. We also got Fishy on Tactics. How's it going? Saying, yo. Back at you. Hope all is good up there in all Wisconsin, all Milwaukee up there. Miss it already up there. Had some cheese curds actually this evening. I was thinking about Wisconsin as I was munching on those. Cora was also here. What are we musing about this evening? Well, we're just kind of hanging out, talking a little bit about just random fish right now. Like some folks are just asking, like just asking questions about puffers so far. Like we've talked a little bit about Maboo, we've talked about Finley, we've talked about Hercules now here a little bit, uh, something like that. Justin, yeah, usually twice a day. It also depends on the puffers. Like my bigger puffers, sometimes Finley will take half clamshells twice a day, and then sometimes if she doesn't want to go after them, then there's also some days where she just doesn't want to eat at all. I mean, uh, sometimes puffers can be a little irregular. I don't know how common that is because Mac, like I said, he's at least about 9 inches now. He wants to eat every single day. Same thing with Hercules. He wants to eat every day. But I mean, I've had Finley now for about 3.5 years at this point now. Had her ever since she was about an inch or smaller, whatever she was there. Um, but I mean, I've just learned that's kind of how she is. There, for a few days in a row, she'll eat and most likely eat a lot. And then there's about a day or two in between where she's just like, nah, I'm good. And then repeat the process. She'll eat another day or two too heavily, and then there's another day where she'll eat, but not as much as the previous couple of days, and she'll be having a ravenous appetite again. And I just learned that, yeah, her eating habits are a little irregular. But as I don't know how common that is with puffers and all that. I just kind of learned that Finley is, well, she's a little bit of a diva, but I love her for it. All right, who else we got in here with us? We got Jeff Kane in the house. How's it going, Jeff? Good to see you, man. Another fellow that I met up there in Wisconsin earlier. Speaking of that earlier, we got Vibes Aquatics in here as well. Saying what's up with Fish Fam. What's up with you, Vibes? Hope you've had a awesome Monday. Hope all of y'all are staying cool despite this very toasty weather. We got, I'm not sure exactly what the highest was we got here in Council Bluffs, but I know we hit triple digits. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but I do know we hit into the triple digits, and with the humidity, it probably felt worse than that. Speaking of Iowa, we got Steady Nona in here, fellow Iowan. How's it going, Sarah? Good to see you. We got Fish Tank Frank in here. Better late than ever. Hey, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I've been actually pondering the thought of maybe once a month, maybe from once a month from now on, I should do a late night stream because I know I've gotten a couple comments in the past that some of y'all like these, and frankly, I kind of like them too. I think all my streams are kind of more of a, well, I try to give them a little more chill with a little bit of upbeat and a little bit of energy because, well, that's how, that's just how I am on this channel. I like to give, that's me. But sometimes on these late night streams, it's just cool to come in here, just sit, talk, and, basically, yeah, talk about whatever. Let's see here. Leo, back to your question earlier. Who has the worst temper of the three, Hercules, Mac, or Finley? Mac and Hercules, well, Hercules I've only had now for a few months or whatever at this point. So him versus Mac or Finley, it's not yet a fair comparison, I would say. But Hercules is actually pretty docile. It makes me think that, honestly, if I wanted to try some small tank mates that are faster swinging than him, I lean towards thinking that it would work, honestly, because for the most part, he's been pretty docile. But out of the three, part of it also depends. I've never really seen Matt here really get all that mad. I have seen Finley flat out get a little ticked off before. While she was about, it was like I remember one time specifically where she was about a foot long, maybe just shy of it. I gave her like live self-cloning crayfish more often. I used to care and raise those up down here a little bit, basically as puffer food, which I know. But in the end, I had so many puffers for a while because, for once upon a time, yeah, I had Finley, an arrowhead puffer, a dragon puffer, and then, some of the babies you talk about. I also had a Congo puffer, a hairy puffer a while ago. A whole bunch of ambush puffers where honestly I just couldn't keep up with it. Hence part of the reason why I don't have as many puffers down here. I mean, we once had 12 puffers down here. And I very quickly learned, like, okay, that is a lot of work. We need to slow down and pick some of the favorites. But long story short, yeah, I definitely say out of the three, Finley probably has the temper. And for the most part, even she's pretty chill. Like, I can put my hand in her water. I'd never want to put it right next to her and tempt the fates. But uh, she's never really ever tried to charge my hand or anything. But I would definitely say out of the three, she is definitely the one where if I could foresee any of them going on to attack, it would probably be her. All right, going down the chat here. We also got Gina's Reef in here. 3 little green hearts. Appreciate you, Gina, coming in on here and hanging out with us this Monday night. Who else we got in here? We also got the Fish Fam Link, another one of our 5 awesome moderators on this channel. Good to see you as always as well. Keep on going through the chat. Aquarium Domain, how is it going? Yeah, Mac just he just keeps getting bigger and bigger. He I was saying earlier a few times here, I think he's easily eclipsed 9 inches, which it's crazy to think that he's still going to get more than double that yet. I mean, he's just he's starting to really come into his color here too, aren't you, buddy? Like if you would fan out his tail there, me and the fan out his tail, well, he's kind of doing a little bit. I mean, he is just his coloration. He's gonna be a big beauty later on. He's really getting up there. But maybe that's what you need to put. I mean, I know you're building a couple of 1,000-gallon tanks there yet, man. Maybe one of those thousands. You got to get yourself a Maboo puffer in there. Somewhere in that fish room, get you a Maboo. I promise you, man, you won't regret it. They are. I mean, it almost feels like that'd be almost insignificant in your fish room too, because I know you got sharks, stingrays, and all sorts of other crazy stuff too. But I'm telling you, man, a Maboo puffer, I think, man, that'd be another level. A Maboo puffer and 1,000-gallon would be amazing. And then just, yeah, load that baby with Tetris. Heck, and a 1,000-gallon tank, depending on what you do with the dimensions. Some people say you can even put 2 in 1,000. I'm not going to vouch for that, but because, well, I don't have a 1,000-gallon tank, but all right, what else we got going on in the chat here? What else we got? That is true, Matt. Yeah. Looking at his video and such, yeah. I mean, that's another thing I gotta say. I totally can relate to Domain's latest video too, where it's like, doing favors for the wife so that she doesn't get mad at me for doing certain things here in the fish room and such. Like, for example, some of y'all already know. So when I actually bought that 75 on top right there, let's even that out. There we go. When we bought that 75, we were just moving into this house. And initially, I was just going to pick up that tank and that tank only. Surprise, surprise, though, to my wife, though, as me and my father went to go pick that up, we went and bought another tank, which ended up being this one. Yeah, we initially went over for 1 tank, and we came home with 2, which was a surprise at first. I'm like, oh boy, how is she going to take this? I mean, I have no regrets, but we'll see how she thinks. But she took it pretty well. I'm still breathing, so, it didn't go too bad. All right. Hey, we got 3 moderators in here. Here we go. How's it going, Zen Ginger? Ms. Supermod herself coming in here saying hello. Matt, you were here in Omaha, huh? All right. Oh, and at UNMC. Well, who knows, Matt? You might have, depending on exactly what building you were at, you might have been right there next to my father as well. My father actually works at UNMC as well. He, for a while, he was a doctor's assistant out for a while, something like that. He was also like helping manage like certain floors and such. Now he's kind of stepped away from some of the managerial roles and such. Quite a bit of stress and such, and especially after the pandemic where he was tangled up in all that loveliness and such. It was you can imagine it got pretty hectic. do, 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 do. One thing I gotta ask all y'all in the chat here too, because I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've been asking some other streams as well. I am still debating about what kind of Oscar I want to put with my Bumblebee in here. Well, I shouldn't say in here because this 50-gallon Pentagon here is obviously, as a lot of you know, a temporary thing. We're gonna move him eventually into this 185-gallon boat here later on. We're gonna do some other logistics down here in the fish room first because as some of y'all know, or as I said in an idea once, I want to put that 185 bow over here towards the center and just move all those tanks over to the other side of the fish room, and then potentially build another plywood tank later on here, which is probably at least a year out here yet, because I want to build Finley's first. She's on top of it. I mean, she's a fish that we have now, but I'm thinking, something like 10.5 feet long to 3.5 feet wide, something around that. It might even just be 3 feet wide. I don't want it to stick out too far and such and really close up. So, I mean, when you look out this pathway, I mean, I really need to work on my evening skills here. There we go. So, I mean, when you talk about from side to side here, I mean, obviously those tanks right there, those 75s are 18 inches wide. I have that also. I have them about 6 inches away from the wall too. So I mean, I guess technically you could say that's 2 feet. Obviously, put another foot on that or another 18 inches on that, and that could really, needless to say, that would take up a little bit of the walkway. Because initially I wanted to even make it 4 feet wide, but I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. Unfortunately, that just seems like it's gonna be. I don't know. That 4 feet just seems too high, but yeah, that bigger plywood tank later on, after we build Finley's and all the other logistics are taken care of, I was thinking that size-wise, 10 feet long, 11 at longest. I could do 12, but then we'd be really smacked right up against the 5'10" here, and obviously I don't want to take away from the beauty of that any more than we would need to. But I want to make it big enough and wide enough to where I can maybe do a arowana and stingray combination. I don't know. That's what I think. Stephen P, how's it going? Joke, joke, joke. Nice. Zen, I do remember you saying that, and I gotta tell you, I was this close of pulling the trigger on an albino tiger Oscar earlier. There was one that, I mean, it was pretty much right around the same size as the Bumblebee Oscar I have right now. Maybe a little smaller, if smaller, not too much smaller, not small enough to where I think it'd be a problem between the two. But I don't know. Part of me also wonders if it'd be best for me to wait to get an Oscar until we start moving him over into the 185, because, I mean, he's now been in this tank here for what is it? It's not quite 6 months. It's like 4 or 5, somewhere around that. I believe something around that ballpark. So he's used to having the tank by himself, and I'm worried if I put another one in there that they might fight. And of course, we don't want that. Jeff, no, it is not going to be an Oscar-only tank. I'm only thinking of adding one more Oscar with the Bumblebee Oscar once we get to the 185, and then what I'm thinking of doing on later on is I'm going to take my 5 Colombian silver dollars out of the 240 and put them in with the 2 Oscars also in that 185 as well. And then maybe, I don't know, some sort of freshwater eel on the bottom is something else I was kind of thinking about maybe for the 185 as well. And then, yeah, we have the combination of just that, the 2 Oscars, the 5 silver dollars, and 1 eel or something. And I was thinking that, that should cap off for a pretty sweet looking 185. But no, I mean, I guess I'm not 100% sold on the silver dollars too, but part of me also just sits here like, man, I kind of want to get those silver dollars out of there too because I mean, the rainbows have gotten a lot bigger, the gouramis have gotten a lot bigger. I mean, I got 6 rose lines also in that 240 as well. And I mean, it's 6 feet long and 2 feet front to back that 240, and I mean, the 185 bow isn't small by any recognition either. It's another 6 foot long tank. Peak of the bow 25 in the corner, and the edges there are each 19 inches there as well. So I mean, none of them are small tanks, but I also don't want to overcrowd them either because then you got to start talking about bio load. I mean, the 240 has an FX6 on it with like over 350 gallons worth of sponge filtration on there. I believe in filtering the hell out of my tanks because when you put a buttload of filtration in there, it lets you enjoy them more. Hence why I'd rather spend way more money than a lot of other people probably would on filtration, so I can just sit and enjoy them more. And depending on what size of the tank, sometimes only doing water changes once every month or 3 weeks, depending kind of how it is. I mean, I've been doing them a little more often now because it's been hotter lately, and of course, my fish room is not air conditioned. So if there's meaty stuff in some of these tanks, like especially with my puffers, then yeah, I really try to watch those nitrates and all that jazz because when it's warmer and such, those can rise in level. They're faster than other things, and obviously we don't want that. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat. Cram Domain, ooh, yes. I'm sure. I was actually on a Sunday night stream. Well, I wasn't on it, but I was in the chat rather of Danikin's Sunday night stream, and Kenny actually suggested that a red Oscar. I don't know if he suggested an albino one, but I've actually looked at both an albino and a normal red Oscar, and boy, both of them would be pretty as well. This is also part of the reason why I can't decide though. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I've been getting a lot of albino ideas, and I gotta tell you, I am kind of leaning that way. There was an Oscar native to the Rio Negro that Tangled Up in Cichlids had when I was at the Catfish Cataclysm in Madison. But I wish I would have pulled the trigger on it. But I mean, I had so many other things that I came home with. I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough room left in the cooler to hold all the fish and help, maintain the temperature while we made the, 8 hour trip. Well, not 8, but it was like 6.5. But by the time me and my wife drove over to Milwaukee, I guess it was like 7.5 because Milwaukee's a little bit further out there versus Madison. I think by the time we left Milwaukee, it was about 7.25, 7.5 to get back here. So, but yeah, that's one that I kind of wish I would have got because, well, if I did that though, then I probably wouldn't have room for any more, or at least wouldn't be able to do the silver dollar thing anymore. But yeah, I got to look up those albino red Oscar. I mean, just seeing that name, that sounds pretty. Going through the chat. Hey, we got another moderator here. We got Mrs. Freak. The wife here is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us, dear. I'm almost surprised that she's still awake. I know she's got to get up a little early here yet. So, but appreciate you coming in here in the stream. Hope you hang out with us a little bit, dearest. And she must have heard me earlier. Yeah, one day you're gonna get something with the Stingray. That's the goal. It's why I'm planning that one plywood tank. Hopefully that I can build in about a year or so. I mean, who knows? I mean, hey, if things go super smooth and all that, maybe it won't even be quite a year. But I mean, I can tell you now the amount of lumber it's going to take to build Finley's plywood tank versus the one that I would want to build for Ray's and Arowana. There's going to be a bit of a difference. We're definitely going to need more lumber for one or the other. I'll let you do the math on which one you think it is, but it's I mean, I'm excited for both of them though, because I mean, Finley, I think, I mean, just when we build her that new Pentagon tank, I mean, that's probably going to be it. I mean, the way I'm going to build it, I'm going to make sure like this is going to be her tank for the rest of her life, and that she, from now on, for however much longer life gives me with her, she's going to have a huge footprint to swim around and just strut her stuff and reach her full glory. Which is, to me, the whole reason why we keep fish, is because, I mean, they're pets and we want them, it's like a dog or a cat, we want them to be their best, be their happiest. Craig's Catfish Cave, how's it going, Craig? Good to see you, man. Welcome aboard the Late Night Musings. What else we got going on in the chat here? What else we got in here? Jeff, yeah, I gotta tell you, so when I actually, back on the albino Oscar thing, I actually saw a tiger Oscar earlier, another one that I got. The only thing with tiger Oscars, obviously they got the black, but the black and the orange, I don't know, it would almost look a little too similar to the bumblebee Oscar. And much of Domain and Zen was saying there earlier, as well as some other ones, I kind of like the idea, though, of the contrasting ones, of like having an Oscar that's mostly black with some color, and then another Oscar that's mostly white with some color. I kind of like that idea. That is something that I will say that I'm really starting to lean towards. But, I mean, yeah, tiger Oscars are really cool, too. Somewhere down the road, I'll definitely get one. I mean, if I didn't get the bumblebee Oscar, that's probably what I would have gotten. I would have gotten a normal tiger Oscar and an albino Oscar. That's probably what I would have done otherwise. Mountaintop Puffer Keeper, how's it going? I think it's been a hot minute since I've seen you here, but then again, I know just a couple of weeks ago, I finally got these streams going regularly on Mondays, even though the time has been a little irregular. But quick stop in, tank looks awesome. Thank you. And if some of y'all are wondering exactly, or curious, maybe the more appropriate term, of how some of my other tanks are looking down here, I will say some are looking a little better than others. But I still got that fish room tour video coming up here. I will tell you now, it's going to be a longer video, longer than I'm used to posting out here. So it's going to be a little abnormal from what I usually do. But I mean, I've also not posted a fish room update video where we're just showing off all the tanks here, like I say, in over a year and a half. And I know I'm terrible. I said I was going to get that out before my next Monday live stream. It's long story short, it's just taken longer to edit and such than I initially thought. It took longer to record. It's taken longer to edit. And yeah, I want to give something to you guys that's entertaining. I don't want to just throw it all together and be like, all right, well, here's the fish room. It's good enough. Here you go. But nah, I want it to be a little entertaining, especially, if we're going over our usual time to show this, going over our time considerably. But yeah, I want to make something entertaining still, too. Not just, like, yeah, check me out. Here's what I got. I want to be engaging, Only Oscars. How's it going, June? Good to see you. Yeah, the Rio Negro Oscars are super nice. And I mean, they reminded me so much of a Bumblebee Oscar. Because honestly, when I saw them in Madison, I thought that's what they were for a minute until, shoot, I can't think of the guy's name right now. Daggone it. I should know it, too. But, yeah, when I first saw them, too, I asked him if that's what they were. And he said that, no, they were currently unnamed, but native to the Rio Negro. But I tell you what, man, if I was back at the Catfish Cataclysm again, that's one fish that I tell you what, I'd probably have pulled the trigger on. That's one that I probably would have came home with if I had the opportunity to do it again. Zebra Oscar. For some reason, June, I feel like you suggested that one before, but I don't know if I actually ended up looking that one up among the other ones I had before. Might have to do that, though, after this stream, though. That sounds like another one that would be cool. Of course, I mean, June's one of the best one to ask about. Oscars, of course, hence the name, of course, because, I mean, that only makes sense. But, yeah, I'm not... I think I'm kind of going, like, with the idea of, like, some sort of albino one, because, yeah, I like the idea of the black, mostly black, but the mostly white. I think that's going to really pop. I mean, especially since our 185 over there, I mean, it's got a black background and all that, too. So, I mean, I tell you what, I think that would really, really pop. And I almost wish that tank was bigger, because, honestly, my top choice, I mean, I almost wanted to pull, like, a KG Tropicals sort of thing and such, and do like what John and Lisa do and put Oscars with arowanas. I think that would be, whew, I think that would be really, really pretty too. A yellow Oscar. I've heard of those, but I don't know if I've seen of one. Hmm. A zebra Oscar and a yellow Oscar. Gotta look those up. All right. Oop, and the chat jumped on me again. Do, 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 do. Oh, Coro, I missed this. Or they're getting ooh man, tooth ex- tooth extractions. I've been there. I've already had all my wisdom teeth pulled. Well, I know that's not what you're talking about, but I mean at the same time, yeah, that stuff that hurts. That stuff hurts. I'm just most pain I don't want to deal with again. That stuff it's not fun. Well, here's the next question for y'all. If we did an eel also in the 185 with the two Oscars and the silver dollars, I mean, personally, I'm kind of leaning towards a fire eel because I mean, tire track eels are cool, spiny eels are cool, but man, there something about the coloration of fire eels just look amazing. And if you don't have not seen my YouTube short already, I invite you. Well, one, of course, go check that out. But there is a local fish store here in the Omaha area that has a huge fire eel that I think is maybe just shy of 2 feet. Like it's huge, but actually somewhere between a foot and a half to 2 feet. I might be over exaggerating on the 2 feet. I don't think it's quite that large, but it's still a big eel. And I tell you what, every time I look at that, I just keep thinking like, man, I gotta get one of those someday. One of these days, I gotta get one of those. They just they look so cool. It's like a knife fish 2.0, only not as slender. They're more tubular rather than flat. But yeah, oh, need those two. I've been putting it off because there's always something higher priority, and I keep spending money on my fish tanks. Oh man, I know the feeling, Coral. I know the feeling. Health comes second in my checkbook, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I've been guilty of that myself, to where I've honestly been like, yeah, to where I've been sitting here thinking to myself at the same time, like, I gotta prioritize, but at the same time, like, well, I gotta feed my fish, and I mean, to, keep my channel entertaining. I mean, without going too deep. I mean, I want to keep things happening in here because that's the easiest way I know how to, make videos for you guys. Keep things going on down here. And for a while, when things aren't going on, then sure, we'll go visit a public aquarium or, I mean, I've only visited really two of the stores here in Omaha, two, and one of them that actually just getting ready to relocate in Omaha too. Maybe we got to do a video on that or something. It's kind of weird though because they just relocated about a year and a half ago to their current location, so it's kind of weird that they're moving again. But to their credit, they keep growing. So I mean, I guess if you keep growing, they're gonna keep moving to something bigger. June, fire eels are friendly and will get to recognize you. I missed the one I had. Yeah. I'm sorry that for the loss there, but yeah, I mean it's exactly what I've noticed too. I mean that's what the kind of fish I like. I like the fish that come to the glass and they recognize you, which I mean is a big reason why I love puffers. It's why I have my Mabu here. It's why I have Finley. It's why I have Hercules. And I mean, even my Amazons and my pea puffers, my figure eight puffers, my green spotted puffers, my red eye puffer. They all recognize me. And even my Oscar and my flower horn, that's just the kind of fish I like. I mean, there are some other things because I mean the rainbows I like them because it's a whole bunch of color just swimming all around the tank and such, much like the Tetris. I mean, even the goldfish come to the front of the tank once in a while. It's I don't know. At least with me and the fish hobby, that's what I like. I like fish like that come up towards the front of the tank and are curious about what I'm doing. Just greeting you almost like a little puppy sometimes. eel lived with Oscar for 5 years. Well, I gotta say, Jim, that's actually very very comforting to know that you've done that and had success with that. Because I was actually wondering for a while if the Oscars would pick on the eel for a while. That was one thing I was actually worried about. So the fact that you're telling me you had success with that is very encouraging. I'm glad you shared that. But for 5 years, man, I mean, yeah, at some point I gotta. Like I say, I'm thinking that's probably one. The only other thing I'm gonna add to that, I'm gonna get one more Oscar of some sort, probably an albino of some sort. We got a couple of conventions actually coming up here, which I should actually share with you guys here. Get my calendar out here in case anyone's interested. I mean, as some of y'all know, I have been sharing about the Quad City Fish Swap, which to those of you that don't know about the Quad City Fish Swap, there's two more here yet in 2023. Of course, the first one will be October 1st. That's a Sunday. It'll go from noon to 4 p.m. And I know it's some of y'all that might be out there a bit. It might be hard to persuade yourself to go out to just a 4-hour event, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. If you're a person like me that, yeah, is all about the fish, all about the plants, and meeting people that, share the same passion for the same hobby as you, that's one reason. But if you also like seeing like fish and aquarium related crafts and all that, this is another place that can do exactly that. I'm telling you. Like the Quad City Fish Swap in Davenport, it felt like a miniature Aquashella. And I say miniature, but it was still a really good size event. And I've said it before and I'll say it again here. If you want to get a grasp on the idea of kind of what it was like and all that, check out my former live stream on there. It was pretty good size. Big Shrimpin', how's it going, Steve C? Good to see you, man, as always. Pimpin' with the Big Shrimpin', aka Steve C. Oh yeah. And Zen dropping the link there. Appreciate you there, Zen, for dropping that. There was another one I wanted to. Oh yes, October 22nd. Again, so 10/22, October 22nd. That's another Sunday. Those of y'all wondering. Omaha is going to have a fish swap at the Union Firefighters Hall, kind of in the outer skirts of the city there. But it's another nice location. I've also done live streams in there before. Slightly smaller venue, but tell you what, I mean, even smaller, still a great number of venues or vendors that come out there. A lot of cichlids. I mean, I always come home with some angelfish, a lot of plecos there. Always see some loaches, some shrimp. Every once in a while, a goldfish breeder comes out. So if you're looking for like a higher quality goldfish, I'm not talking comets or all that, or your typical fantails. Like these are bred goldfish that are not engineered, but bred a certain way to try to bring out the best characteristics. So this is not like your mutt goldfish that you get at PetSmart or Petco. These are ones that if you're willing to open up your pocketbook a little bit, you can get some pretty sweet looking goldies there. We occasionally sell. Occasionally we got a couple folks there also selling reptiles and other critters there as well. It's a nice little time. But again, that is October 22nd, 10/22, a Sunday. That goes from, I believe that starts at 11 a.m. Yeah, it goes from 11 a.m. to, I believe, 3 p.m. So if that interests you, check that out. And again, Omaha Fish Swap, that's October 22nd. There's another one that's coming up here, actually in Des Moines, I want to say. I'm trying to remember when that one is. I should remember when that one is, but right now I can't remember myself. When the heck is that one? Otherwise, if you can't, I guess going back on the Quad City Fish Swap here, if you can't make the one on October 1st, no sweat. They got another one in November, namely November 12th. They'll have it. Same time, same place, Golden Leaf Banquet Center in Davenport, Iowa. It's a lot of the same vendors will also be at that one too. I probably myself, I'm only going to make one, but you only got to make, well, I would love to make two. I don't know. I might try to make two. Depends on how many other ones I go to between them. But there's another one in Des Moines, and I can't remember when it is. I want to say it's in October as well, and I can't remember what it is. I want to say it's October 15th, but don't quote me. Before the next stream, well, actually, you know what? Here, let's look it up here. While I'm at it, aquarium domain. Unfortunately, no, I will not be able to make the Keystone Clash this year. I was really going to try to make it over there this year, but unfortunately, financially speaking, for me, it just didn't line up with some things that we had go on this year versus also projects I'm doing down here for my fish and such. Unfortunately, the Keystone Clash isn't going to work for me this year. Next year, though, as I've said a couple times here, next year I'm going all in. I'm doing everything I can, even if that's the only big swap I can go to. Next year, the Keystone Clash, I'm going all in. That's my top priority swap next year. I want to get to the Keystone next year, but unfortunately this year it's just not going to work, which really bums me out because yeah, I saw on your video here even today, uh, dude, that you were going, and I know that some other guys that I haven't met yet are going there. Like I know Rico Stan's going there. I know like Dee Dee's Fin Den's going there. I haven't met her yet. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's a lot of people going there that I've seen plenty of times live stream or listened to live stream, but I haven't had a chance to connect the name to the face in person yet, which is kind of part of the fun. But unfortunately, life happens. It is what it is. But at some point, yeah, next year that's my number one goal. Is I'm gonna get out there, and that's gonna be my number one goal, swap meet or convention, whatever you want to call it, in 2024. Here we go. So yes, I was correct. So on October 15th or 10/15, there is we have Fishtoberfest in Des Moines, Iowa. This is not the Fishtoberfest like that you might hear from Danica Aquatics or Kenny E. This one is in not Davenport, Des Moines, Iowa, rather. Don't go to Davenport on that point. You'll be 2 weeks too late. But it'll be at the Croatian Slavic Center. It's kind of out in the outskirts of Des Moines. Almost seems like you're going like in farmer land at that point. But that is Sunday, October 15th. That goes from 11 to 2 p.m., not a.m. That'd be horrible. But yeah, if you're interested on coming out here to Iowa or Musings in Nebraska, uh, check one of those out. But I tell you what, if you can only go to one, I mean, all of them are going to be awesome. Don't get me wrong, but if you can only make one, I'm telling you, the Quad City Fish Swap, you got to make that one of these times. Make a plan for one of those dates. That's going to be fun. All right, pull up Zen's stream link there again. I wasn't going to say. I don't know why I was trying to say stream there. That doesn't fit. Coral, yes, some goldfish breeds complete with koi for color, and they're incredible. Yeah, in fact, I actually think the guy that we have here in Omaha actually does a little bit of that. I know that's not what he only does. He does a couple of different things, but I tell you what, I mean, well, actually, heck, I got it on a live stream there earlier. I couldn't tell you how long ago. It's been less than a year, I know that, but I mean, his goldfish were amazing. I mean, if he's there again, I mean, we still got one of them. Actually, no, I think actually I got two of them in there from him earlier. We were talking about once upon a time that I might have to go to his place and kind of see the little breeding farm. I've been thinking about maybe doing that at some point because a couple of places, folks with these bigger places here in the Midwest have been saying, yo, come on by for a tour sometime, make a video of it. And honestly, I've been thinking about like, that'd be a cool thing to add to this channel, check out some of these big breeders that are, native here in the Midwest and give you a little look behind the scenes of, what they kind of do to, yeah, bring what they do to the swaps that you go to and such. Um, any online fish swaps? None that I'm currently aware of anyway. I I guess part of that also is I don't really follow online ones there too. I like going to one so I can also interact with people, but stuff like that. Yeah, I do remember Skipper actually doing a little bit of that earlier. Now that I remember. Do, 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 do. Caleb, how's it going? Saying hello to everyone. Hello to you, Caleb. Hope you've been having an awesome Monday. Or at this point, it's almost done. We only got about an hour left of Monday here in Iowa, about 9 to 11 in the evening here. Melvin's joined the crew. How's it going, Legacy Hobbyist? Good to see you. Other folks check in here. All sorts of awesome folks in the chat here. Glad to see so many people coming in here, hanging out in a little after hours time. Hey, Fantastic Freaks after hours. I keep putting my drink down in different locations, and I keep losing it. I gotta put this in one place. Woo! Man, oh man. And I gotta keep that drink handy down here too, because again, my fish room is the only room in our whole house that is not air conditioned. We do have a dehumidifier running down here pretty much nonstop. I've almost been pondering the thought of getting another one, but honestly, I feel like we get more affirmative action if I just figured out a way to, install an air conditioning unit down here. But something like that. But I don't know. I mean, the thing is, at least in the wintertime, we can heat the basement. But yeah, I need to get an AC unit down here because there's been times throughout this summer that my water's reached about 87 degrees, which fortunately has some tropical with like 95% tropical water fish down here. It's getting high on the scale there, but they've tolerated it year after year. But at the same time, it's also like, yeah, once you get about closer to that 90, it's like you're getting a little warm here, and those are. It's why I've also bumped up the aeration down here and bought some bigger pumps because I'm making extra sure that my fish are getting a surplus of oxygen, which is a way to kind of fight that heat a little bit to make sure that they're not panting because of the heat. You want to make sure they got plenty of oxygen to not get stressed out. But coral, that's a great question. I'm not fully sure. I'd have to do the actual measurements, but I mean, I guess let's figure this out. I'd say that's about a foot between the plywood tank there at least. Actually, no, it's probably closer to a foot and a half. So 18 inches plus 8 feet. 8 times 12, that's 96, I believe. Yeah, 96 plus 18, 106, 114, plus 4 feet, another 48. So that's 126, 166. So 12, 8, 2, 14, plus 3. I would say that the far wall is about 17 inches. That's going from this way. That way on the basement is longer. I want to say it's like 20 some feet, like mid higher 20s in feet. I'd have to measure it. Like I'd have to measure it. Yeah, I guess that is true. I mean, I don't think we need a huge AC unit. Like, honestly, like, I don't care if it really chills the room either because, honestly, I don't mind it being a little warmer down here in the summer because, I mean, it saves me on my electric bill because, at least on the bright side, all summer long, my heaters have pretty much never turned on in the last 2-3 months, which saves a ton on the electric bill. So, I mean, I don't totally hate it. I just don't want it to be where, yeah, my water's starting to tickle close to 90 degrees. But, like that. Oh, yeah, and I mean, our dehumidifier is not a small one. I mean, it's not the biggest one you can get either. But, I mean, the dehumidifier, I mean, you can definitely tell when it's not been turned on. Like, if I keep it off for even like even a couple hours, it very quickly makes a difference. But if I turn it back on, then yeah, within about I can turn it on in the afternoon, and right when I'm coming down to turn off the lights, I can already feel a big difference. It's still hot, but you can definitely feel a difference. I mean, it does help, but it only does so much for the comfort and the temperature down here. But one of these times I'll do it. I mean, at this point, I need to. At this point, I mean, summer's what? You only got about what, a month at this point of potential super hot. I mean, month and a half at absolute most. I mean, I don't think I'm probably going to do it this year, but next year it might be on the itinerary because it's like, okay, I've done this for 3 years now, and there are some fish still that get really stressed out, and it's probably why I've lost some fish in the past. And if that's the case, then yeah, I got to do something about it. I mean, we haven't. I mean, haven't really had any major casualties this year. I mean, yeah, you can see some fish panting and all that, and that's why I have some spare pumps on the side there to put some extra aeration. And once we do that, it usually calms them down and comforts them a little bit. But just be nice, yeah. Gotta at some point, you can only get away with that for so long. One of these points, I just need to bite the bullet. P&W Aqua, good to see you. Love that logo with the Ultims in that logo. That is beautiful. Ultims are absolutely amazing. All right, going down. Do 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 do. Domain. How many different puffer species do I have? Well, obviously we got Mac, my Mabu puffer over here, who's just kind of out of the frame, barely there. There he is, over there. Of course, next to him, we got the Queen, Finley, over there, too. Hercules is down there in that 75. He's hiding behind his little rock cave there that I just recently added back in there with him. I need to kill that light again. 3, and then we also got green spotted puffers, Amazon puffers, pea puffers, figure 8 puffers, and 1 red eye puffer. So, yeah. Or wait a minute. Yeah, let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, eight different kinds currently. And initially, I rehomed my other red eye puffers, which was kind of funny because I mean, someone else just said, "Yeah, I've had this little red eye puffer for about a couple years, and just I don't know, they got tired of them." And it was like maybe 2 weeks after I rehomed my 2 puffers to somebody else there, just saying like, "Here," because they've been wanting to try some puffers for a while, but they said the pea puffers are too small. And I'm like, tell you what, I got something for you. And they had like a 38-gallon tank. I only had mine at that point in that 20-gallon hex. So I'm like, you know what? Sometimes life just sets it up beautifully, and it's like, you know what? Here's some bloodworms. Change your water. If you see this in the readings, yada yada. So yeah, 8 species currently right now. May go up, may go down. We've once had as much as 12 in here, though. Speaking of Kenny E a couple times earlier, what's going on, Kenny? Danikin Aquatics in the chat. How's it going? I see we got something special going on down there as well, too. What up, my favorite Packer fan? And Kenny, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that, man. It's really, really appreciated. I never expect money, but it's always greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very much, man. And thank you, my favorite Viking fan. I feel like I owe you that for that super chat there. Appreciate you very, very much for that. And FishFam.link there, even saying thank you before me because I keep falling behind in the chat here. Appreciate you as well there, FishFam link, and all my moderators for maintaining the chat whenever I fall behind, which does indeed occasionally happen. All right, what else we got here? We also got new local Austin in the chat. How's it going? Good times indeed. Well, hey, I try to bring some good times here every once in a while. give us a place to, de-stress and such occasionally. Leo. Mm-mm. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep in football, but all I'm saying is I hear so many people talking about Justin Fields over Jordan Love. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to talk too much smack until we start playing because I know, like, one of the main things on ESPN over the past couple of days is like, Jordan Love has looked great in preseason. And I'll be honest, I'm a Packer fan, and I'm like, I don't care. It's preseason. Preseason doesn't mean crap. Like, in a month from now, it's history. No one will remember a thing of what's happening right now in preseason. I mean, in a month, less than a month, no one cares. No one's going to remember a daggone thing. That's why I'm like, it's great that he's playing well right now, but it's like, nah, let's see him against the Bears. Let's see him against the Vikes and the Saints, Let's see him in regular season action. For the first 5 games before the Packers have their bye week, let's see how he does in these first 5 games. Then maybe we can start getting some thoughts and conclusions on the guy. Like, okay, this might work, or like, ooh, maybe we need to reevaluate a couple things. But I don't know how the hell we're going to reevaluate because it was time to move on from Rodgers. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going on a football tangent. I need to shut up because I know that's not what a lot of you are into, so I will stop talking about that. Ooh, and we've been talking about Fajakas throughout the day. Kenny E picking up another Fajaka right on. And got to think of if Kenny doesn't have a name, guys, we should think of a name for his Fajaka here, or the new Fajaka. All right, folks, in the chat, got a name suggestion? Put it in the comments below. We got or even if you're watching the replay, put it in the comments. We got to give Kenny E some name suggestions if he doesn't have them already. Mac, what are you doing? He was like standing straight. Oh, I see what you were doing. He was blowing in the sand kind of at a weird angle. Yeah, I am starting to take the camera over here real quick. I am starting to wonder if I should start lessening the objects in his tank or reposition that wood there because as he continues to get bigger and bigger, the more that this wood and the rocks are going to obstruct his overall swim space. The mangrove roots I don't plan to put anywhere, but I mean, just look at him. Right up here, I mean, he looks like he's getting huge, right? I'm telling you, he's at least 9 inches, and ever since we put him in here, I mean, we've had him in here now for what, about 3-4 months? That's about how many inches or so? Well, maybe not quite that. He's grown at least 3 inches since we put him here, and it's been going fast. It's where I've been thinking that somewhere down the road here I might need to take some of that stuff honestly out of the tank here, so to make sure he has plenty of swim space and such, because as he gets closer and closer to a foot, and then starts drawing closer and closer to 2 foot, we need to make sure he has plenty of space. I mean, it is 39 inches front to back, and that is inside the aquarium. That's not outside. That is actual inner water capacity. But, so, I mean, he does have plenty of space right now. Like the mangrove roots in there, I would say, are easily going to be okay in there for a year. That, and I think he'd be a little ticked off if I took him out of there because he likes swimming behind them and going between the parts that he can. So, all right, go down the chat. Leo, I actually once upon a time did have a hairy puffer. That's been a couple years now. I'll be honest, the ambush puffers, I'm taking a break from them. I've just, for a while I had good luck. I had some ambush puffers for a while that went really well, but I don't know. I've kind of noticed a reoccurring theme though with my ambush puffers, and that's that they do great. They do so well. Their color looks great. Their personality is great, and then like within a day or two's time, we have like a total U-turn, like a total 180, and things just go to hell. I mean, just putting it bluntly, like it just seems like things just turn and just absolutely just go to absolute hell. And my hairy puffer was the same thing. Like right before that little puffer passed, I did a water change about 2 3 days beforehand. The night before he passed, he ate just like normal. He ate a couple of snails, ate a ate some bloodworms as well there. Even gave him a couple pieces of krill because I was trying to get him on that. So when he got bigger, he'd eat that. But yeah, and then obviously, the whole thing with Chief, my arrowhead puffer, y'all saw that real time on a live stream where, it just happened sudden. It was the same thing sort of with my dragon puffer. I've just been noticing a reoccurring theme, and there just comes a point where maybe there is something that happens out of my control, but when it keeps happening again and again and again and again, it's a sign to me where it's like, we need to slow down. We need to reevaluate how I've been taking care of those because something is clearly not working. So I'm very clearly messing something up. So I never say never. I'll probably get into some ambush puffers later on, maybe a hairy at some point. Although honestly, if I did an ambush puffer again, my top choice right now would probably be a dragon. I think their pattern and coloration is gorgeous, so that'd probably be the one I'd go to first if I did get another ambush puffer. But nah, I'm taking a break from the ambush puffers for at least a little while. For how long, don't know. But Nathan, how's it going? Miss so much. Hello, all my fish friends. Just fashionably late. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Jeff, not currently. I don't keep any fish with them right now. Actually, was just talking about this on the stream here earlier, but I had thought about maybe trying to put some minnows in the 75 with him. And if they stick around, then maybe we can move on to tetras. It's kind of what I did with Mac here. That would be my number one suggestion. If you want to see if you can maybe put some tank mates with your puffer, start with something very cheap, very simple, but also healthy. Don't put any fish in there that, don't go to PetSmart and put just, pond comet goldfish in there that are usually in tanks that they could give a hoot and holler less about. Get some small but fast moving or fast swimming fish that, are going to be fast enough to get away from the puffer, but also that, are about the shape that you want, which is what I would recommend. You want a fast swimming fish if you're going to put it with a puffer because puffers' temperaments can just change like that. So, yeah, at some point, I'm probably going to try it with the crossover, see if it works out. Kind of similar like what I did with Mac. Start with maybe some rosy red minnows or some white cloud minnows. And yeah, same with Mac. If Hercules leaves them alone, we might try to put something else in there with them, especially once we move them to the 150 and we move our puffer in with the, in our new plywood tank when we finally get that built. Only problem with Justin Fields is the horrible team around. Well, that is true. He doesn't have much help out there. I don't know why the hell they got rid of David Montgomery out of the backfield, too. That just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But, yeah, everybody said that the Packers are going to finish last in the NFC North, too. I don't think so. I'm sorry, Bears, but I still think that's you. I think the Packers finished third again at worst. Honestly, I do believe in the Lions. I do think that the Lions are going to be really good. The Packers are going to play the Lions for their fourth game Thursday night at Lambeau, so we'll learn a lot about both teams that day. But it should be interesting. Minnesota, I'm not really sure what to think. I think they could still be good. I still think they could be a wild card team. But, well, we'll see. But yeah, Justin Fields, he's not bad, but yeah, he's they still ain't got a very good team around him. They got a long way to go. Well, don't say that yet, Kenny E. Don't say that yet. We'll see how he does. Although some Packer fans would make the argument that we should start that new guy we just drafted, that Sean Clifford from Penn State, and I'm sorry. All I'm going to leave it as there is shoot that argument into the sun. Just going to say that. Clifford is good, and I feel good if he has to be our backup. But no, it's like, no, this is Jordan Love's team. Shoot the argument straight into the sun. Good one, Aquarium Domain. Did I miss something? Oh, there you go, Dan. Domain's got the good one there. Kirk for the puffer. Hey, there you go. Yeah, you can name him Captain Kirk there, Kenny. I like that. I like that. Austin the Vike lover. I'm not sure whether to be honored or insulted there, Kenny. I'm leaning a little more. I was going to say maybe leaning more towards insulted, but I really don't know. All right, what do we go for? Zen checking out. Hubby has finally come to bed. Got to run, but I'll see you folks around the tubes. And Leo, bite your tongue, young man. Been checking in on that as I scroll down here. I'm a little behind in the chat here yet. I see here yet. Looks like I'm about 6 minutes behind here yet. So looks like that's been a while, but Matt, good Lord. His hairy puffer. Oh boy. That's great. I only know about 3 teams. Well, I mean, that's usually how my wife is every single week. Well, has been. My wife knew 3 teams. The team that Tom Brady was on, the Green Bay Packers, because that's who I always watch every Sunday, and then whoever the Green Bay Packers were playing. Those were the 3 teams that she usually knew each week. Like, today's 3 teams of interest are... Anyway, let's see here. Scrolling down the chat. Kenny, good Lord. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, jeez. I would name one of my turds Kurt. Obviously, you mean Kirk, of course, but yeah. Mountaintop puffers. Hairy puffers are a whole different experience in a colony. Group of 3 hairy are more active live together than alone. I had another hairy colony of 4 with similar results. Interesting. I gotta say, so that is one thing I will say. With all my ambush puffers, I have not tried to keep any other ones with them. Someone once suggested I do that with my arrowhead puffer. I was not going to do that because my arrowhead puffer, especially when I first got him, he attacked anything that moved. I mean, it was almost like Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the glory day. It's like, Chief, the arrowhead puffer, biting the head off of anything that by God moves. I mean, that's basically what he did at first. I mean, after about the first year that I had him, yeah, he mellowed out a bit. And for the next year or so I had him, I mean, he was already about full grown when I had him, though. So I'm not sure how old he was when I got him. But, well, I know he wasn't quite full grown when I got him. But, sometimes it does take a couple years for puffers to reach close to their full potential. I mean, Mac, I've had him over a year, and he's not even halfway. But, I mean, same thing with Finley. I've had her for 3.5 years, and while it is very, very slow, she is still gradually growing yet. Oh, boy. I hear Kenny's heart stopping now. But, I mean, yeah, that's... I haven't tried that, though, with the ambush puffers, though, on Mountaintop. Maybe if I get another one at some point, I might have to try that. Although, if I did that, I might try that with dragons, honestly, because like I say, if I get anything that people relate to the ambush puffer one, I probably would say right now I'm leaning towards a dragon, just because I don't know, their markings are beautiful. I love those things. I know, yeah. That's right. They did have. I think that was cichlids with the crossover that was in the at the Catfish Cataclysm. So I mean that that was honestly about the first time where I was thinking about it deeply. Like, should I try putting fish with my cross river maybe down the road here? But obviously, cichlids are a little different game than tetras, of course. But I mean, yeah, the whole every time I came and looked at it, it didn't look like he ever really had much interest in those cichlids. But whoo, goodness. Well, if I'm yawning, that's not a good sign. Let's see here. In Texas, yeah, Texas. I mean, call me weird. I feel like I've talked about this once. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have. I'm not gonna lie, New Augusta. I prefer Texas heat over Iowa heat, and I know some people say I am out of my mind for saying that. But I mean, when I lived in well, okay, to be clear, I lived in the panhandle of Texas for about the 4 or 5 years that I was there. And so, I mean, yeah, it's still, you know, it still could get a little chilly, nothing like what Iowa does, which I wasn't complaining about at all. But I don't know, that's just me. I preferred the Texas heat because I all I did was just drink a lot of fluids. Like I'd keep a lot of water in my system. I'd drink Gatorade. I'd have my body armors or whatever, or stuff like that to keep myself hydrated, and I was good. Where here in Iowa, I mean, what like what we had today, where it was like 102, and then like the humidity almost added another 8 degrees or so, or whatever. It makes me feel like sometimes even wanting to take this water bottle and just heat it. Be like, damn you, liquids! But I don't know. That was me. I liked the I like the dry heat a little better than I do the humid heat. It just, in my opinion, it feels more comfortable. All right, how are we doing in the? Here it just jumped again. There we go. Ooh, Nathan with another name suggestion here. I say Waka. That way, if you, Kenny, gets another one, it can be Flocka. I was wondering where that was going for a bit. Waka Flocka. Hey man, yeah. Today and a few days ago, we were. I mean, about 3 days ago, it felt amazing. Like it was high 70s, low 80s. It felt beautiful, even with the humidity. And now, yeah, this heat right now, the like 98 degrees without the humidity, and then add the humidity, bumping it up to like 105 or whatever the heck it was. Yeah, that sucks. That is my one complaint about Iowa summers is that the humidity needs to go away. No, and it's same thing here in Council Bluffs. It's still hotter than all business outside, and this guy's not a fan. I am I'm not a fan. Let's see. It's 11:20. We can go for sure. We can go another 10 minutes here at least before I need to probably hit the hay here myself. I got a busy work day tomorrow. Well, I guess not super busy, but sports are starting to get back into the picture here, and life of a sports writer right now is about to really pick up. In fact, here in Iowa, this coming Friday, we'll have our first week of high school football games. mean, we're going to have some humdingers right off the bat here on the western side of the state for sure. Got two number ones playing. We're like one class is number one and another one playing against each other. That's going to be fun. I mean, we're going to have some thrills right away. All right. Scuba Stevo, how's it going? Good to see you. Apparently getting Matt's shirt there earlier. Very nice. And 99 in Louisville, Kentucky. A Friday and Saturday. It's about what we were today. Well, that was actual temperature. That's not including the humidity as I was fussing about earlier. And speaking of shirts earlier, as I'm sure a lot of y'all already know, if Fish Fam Link or Matt, if you could, some of y'all already know, but we, Fantastic Freaks, have a merch store now. So if you're maybe looking to add to your wardrobe here in the near future, or it be a t-shirt, or I know some of y'all like tank tops here, we got a little merch store brought by, I just put it on Teespring, or I think nowadays it's just known as Spring basically now. Either way, got stuff on there, and in fact, got sandals among other things on there. We got different styles of t-shirts, and I mean, hey, even believe it or not, it's hard to believe it right now when you know it's like 100 degrees plus right now. But there we go. Thank you, Matt, for dropping that there. There's the link if you're interested to see what's all there. But yeah, we do have a merch store now with some t-shirts, tank top and such, and hey, it's hard to believe right now with 100 degrees, as I was saying there a second ago, but fall is right around the corner with, some bonfires and maybe if you're like me in the Midwest here, maybe some visits to a pumpkin patch, sipping some apple cider and such, stuff like that. Whatever you're into on the fall, pumpkin spice if you're into that. I'm not a pumpkin spice-aholic, but I do appreciate it. It's still good. But I'm not one of those people that get addicted to it for the next 3 months. But yeah, long story short, we also got hoodies and sweatshirts in there too, if that also suits your fancy. So yeah, if you want to check it out there, check out the link there that one of my awesome moderators, Matt, there went ahead and pinned down there for us. And check it out if it suits your fancy. All right, here. Yeah, I think I got at least another 6 minutes or something. We'll push this stream to an hour and a half, because why the heck not? I'm pretty much just going to bed right after this anyway. And I would stream this on my phone here, as well as I fed the fish and such, but my battery is super low, and I don't trust myself to carry my laptop around the fish room when I feed the fish. But I will say this, there will be some fish feedings also in my fish room tour video, which I'm going to try to get out in the next couple days. I know some people are like, we've heard that one before, Austin. You said that now a couple times. And I know I have greatly underestimated how long it takes to produce a fish room tour video. I mean, when I thought about it earlier, it's like, okay, a while ago, I once had up like the 25 tanks, because at first I was just like, I want to get my hands on all the tanks I can fit down here. And then after a while, my fuse box, and then of course, after a while, you put that many aquariums on a house that was completed in 1893, and the fuse box, in its own language, says, yeah, I'd kind of appreciate it if you didn't do that. Maybe you just chilled the heck out a bit. But, it quickly said that, yeah, you're not going to do that, or I'm going to quit. But so hence why we've trimmed down already from like 24, 25 tanks down to just 18 right now. So, and probably I'm not done trimming down yet. Like, honestly, when the Bumblebee Oscar moves out of his 50-gallon Pentagon and into the 185 that we talked about earlier, I really don't know what I'm going to put in that 50-gallon Pentagon anymore. I guess I have ideas of what I would, but the thing is, I really don't know where I'd put the 50 Pentagon. I have an idea. I'm I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet or not. We'll see, I guess, depending on how everything else shakes out. But or like the 38 gallon tank where my Amazons are in right now. I want to move them up to some form of an upgrade. So, I mean, more on that later though, because there's a store, unfortunately, here in Iowa that's closing its doors after like decades and decades of service. But fortunately, a couple of them that I said that was going out, like the one in Atlantic, actually got purchased by someone else. I need to get back up there again and visit the store under its new management and such. So that store in Atlantic that I initially said was going to close is actually still open. It was purchased by a new guy, so that was awesome news. And it, first, this other store, it's actually located in Eldora, Iowa. It's kind of like out by the Des Moines area, a little bit north of that if my geography is correct. It would be nice if someone bought it, but unfortunately, like the whole building that their store is in, it's kind of like a little complex with various stores and businesses in it. The owner of that whole complex just decided that he's going to demolish it for something else. I'm not fully sure what. It's a bummer, and hence why they're just deciding, you know what, we're retiring, which it's a bummer. They had a great store, and we had a video on it actually. The Wet Pet Outlet, if you want to check it out there. But yeah, I mean, there's another one. If you want to make a road trip out to Iowa, they're about to sell some of the remaining tanks. I know they got a 90 gallon up for grabs yet. They got a 125 up for grabs yet. They're debating on a 300 gallon potentially. They said they might have a plan for that to keep it themselves, but if not, they said they might sell that off. So I mean, if you want to make a little road trip and maybe get some cheap deals on some decent sized tanks, Eldora, Iowa might be your place to get some. We were trying to get down to 40, but I did buy 175 gallon. I mean, that's personally. I mean, here's my thing. I say that I'm downsizing here in the fish room, but I mean, I am, but I'm not. And by that I mean like I'm getting rid of some of the smaller tanks, but I'm replacing some of those smaller tanks and putting big ones in their place. Like, for example, like a few of my 20 gallon longs that I used to have over there, or my 20 gallon tank now. I mean, I got rid of that one as well as a 7 gallon hex there. I've drained my 20 gallon hex because, I drained my 20 gallon hex because we brought down my 75 gallon hex. I'm getting rid of some of the smaller tanks and such because I want to make room to build Finley a plywood tank and such. And I mean, it's not really that I'm emptying out my fish room. It's more of a matter of I mean, not that I'm saying anyone's saying that, because of course not. But yeah, I'm trimming down, but I'm also not. Like, the number of tanks is going down, but like the overall gallons of water in the fish room is going up. Well, somewhat going up, I guess. Atkins Nature Aquariums, how's it going? Good to see you. Saying hello, everyone. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people look at me weird when I say, hey, what's interesting is a lot of people think that small tanks are the easier ones to manage. Not always, which is not always the case. It is, in some ways, it is actually harder to take care of those smaller tanks because it's less water in a more concentrated area, hence it can go bad faster. Versus, I mean, here's the thing: you have 5 to 6 gallons of water go bad in your 10 gallon tank. I mean, you're talking over half the aquarium there. I mean, that's quite a deal. But, you have like 5 or 6 gallons of water go bad in, say, a 75, or, like you have like 5 or 10 gallons even go bad in this 510. It's not even going to be noticed by these fish, really. And I mean, puffers can be really susceptible to feel those differences. But I mean, if it's like that, then yeah. I mean, even the puffer, I mean, yeah, he's not going to feel a thing, because that's also why I want to make room for the bigger tanks, because I don't know. In my personal experience, I think bigger tanks are easier to manage. in some ways. Not always, but at least in my experience, most ways. That's the plan. We are done. When we are done, it'll be a few 40s, a few 55s, a few 75s, and everything else will be over 100 gallons. I mean, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. Well, not quite what I'm aiming for. Like the smallest tank, I'm probably going to keep down here. I mean, I'm thinking I'll probably hang on to that red eye puffer for however long life allows, and once he goes, then yeah, I'll probably get rid of that 10-gallon tank down there that he resides in. Um, I'm probably going to keep my 29-gallon tank because I bought that from a friend at the Atlantic store there, and that's one of the places that kind of helped me really get serious into this hobby. So there's a little sentimental value to that tank there as well. That and the stand that it stands on was the first stand that me and my father built back when I was in middle school, and it's still kicking today. I tell you what. But so I mean, I'll have some smaller tanks, but I mean, honestly, after a while, that 29-gallon tank. That might end up before too terribly much longer. That might be the smallest tank I have in here because I've just anything smaller than that, I'm just having to do a water change on. Like even if I filter the heck out of them, I'm almost having to do water changes at least once every week or two. And not that I absolutely despise water changes. I don't want to do water changes that frequently. It's why I go crazy on spending money for filtration on all these tanks. I want to sit back and enjoy them. If I do, yeah, like water changes, maybe say every month ish or so, then that's all right. But 18 tanks every, 30 what or so whatever days or whatever it is, depending on what we have for filtration. Sometimes it's even longer than that. Sometimes it's even a month and a half, depending on what we all have in there. Like, I mean, this 510-gallon tank, we have a FX6 on there, or not FX6, an FX5, which I guess is equivalent to a present day FX6. And then we got a pond grade canister filter on there that by itself does 1,200 gallons. And I mean, by the time you throw on the FX5 on there, I mean, you're talking about 15 to 1,600 gallons of filtration by itself. And that's not including the two sponge filters in there they're supposed to be graded to do another 200 gallons. So, like, ever since I have put Mac in this tank, guys, I've only done like a quarter or a third of a water change twice. Twice. And that's been like about, what, 4 months ago at this point? It's why I go crazy on the filtration. That's what I do. I go crazy on the filtration so that water. So I mean, you got to do water changes. At some point, you got to do water changes. That's just part of the hobby. You can't eliminate that entirely. I guess there are some ways you can, but I'm not that gifted to do that. But and well, I don't know. I don't want to do that, but I don't know. This works for me. Kenny, no, I have not tried to keep two fajakas together yet. There was a time where I actually got very, very close, and it was like it was about another time where Finley laid eggs the second time. I think it was, or was it afterward? Either way, it was around that ballpark, and I really, really thought about it because at that point I had one of my 75-gallon tanks over there open and such, and I was sitting there thinking like, maybe what we could do. I mean, yeah, if Finley lays eggs again, and which she's done 3 times so far, and each time it's just been the timing's been horrible. I haven't been able to get the eggs to a male fajaka to try to fertilize them yet, and it's a bummer because I have a guy that says, yeah, let's do it. Let's bring the eggs to the male here, or he strongly believes he has a male, and let's see if we get lucky. Let's see if he fertilizes them. Worst case scenario, he gets a little protein snack, which, as I told him, it's like, well, if that's what he gets, that's what he gets, and at least your puffer eats well, and they don't spoil in my aquarium. But no, I haven't done it yet. I have thought about it, but boy, if I did that, I'd probably want a very large tank. Like this 510, if I did that, would probably be the minimum where I would do that. Like I want a big tank to where if they're fighting, I can make little nooks and areas to where they can get the heck away from each other. I know there's like some guy on YouTube that has like, oh, I want to say like a 200 or a 300 some gallon tank. He's got like four Fajakas in there. It's nuts. I don't, to be clear, I don't hate it because I mean, when one of them's getting bit up, he gets it out of there and he treats it. And I mean, well, long story short, the guy has a system and it works. Am I going to do it? Absolutely not. But it's like, all right, well, I mean, if he has a system, he's keeping an eye open. He knows what he has to watch for. So I'm like, all right. All right, what else we got going on in here? Amen. And I mean, I mean, like especially with yeah, like especially with puffers and all that, like not even just overfeeding and such, but I mean like yeah, with like puffers and how messy they are with all the proteins and such in the water, like that meat that this goes all around and such. Yeah, it's extra filtration is a good way to kind of yeah, make up for that ground and make it to where yeah, I don't have to do a water change every other day or every single week. Exactly, yeah. With puffers, especially, I mean, they're carnivores. So, I mean, like Finley with her half clams or her krill, it's messy. It's very, very messy. And it's why I have a Title, or I mean, a Title 110 hang on the back there with an FX6 filter with 300 gallons worth of sponge filtration on there. I mean, there's a reason why, especially with my puffers, I go hard on the filtration. That filtration is not something I will ever cut corners on. In fact, I will probably do overkill on the filtration. My saying is, if it is not interfering with your fish's swim pattern or stressing them out, there's no such thing as too much filtration. That I mean, obviously, you can argue in some shape, ways, or form there is, but I say unless if it's not totally throwing your biocycle out of whack or stressing out or interfering with your fish's swimming or normal day lives, there's no such thing as too much filtration. No such thing. I might be hallucinating, but I keep feeling like I'm seeing something over in the corner. It's probably just my long golden hair just keep going in front of my eyes playing tricks though. But so I apologize if I keep looking over there, but I keep looking over there feeling like I'm seeing something. But oh, what else we got here in the chat here? Was saying I was going to stop at 11:30, but well, now we're 11:40 actually, according to my clock here now. So we're past that point. Glorious locks, yeah. Unfortunately, soon the glorious golden locks got to get cut. I'm it's just Matt, damn it. uh, but I mean, yeah, unfortunately, Coral, soon I'm gonna have to trim it down a little bit. I'm actually so my wife is actually a maid of honor for a longtime high school friend wedding here. She's the maid of honor and such, and I have been volunteered as the chauffeur for the bride. Those of you that not sure what a chauffeur is, I'm sure a lot of you do, but basically means I get to drive the maid of honor and the bride wherever the hell they want to go, and I'm just the man that takes them there. That ooh, Kenny. Ooh. No, sir, not a shot. Not a shot. But Coro just shaved the center, reverse mohawk. Oh, guys, yeah, no shot. No shot. I mean, when you talk about shave, I just have to go like that, and I'm like, nope, my head ain't meant to be shaved. No shot. Not a shot in the world. Heck of a good time. Not right. Yeah, it's like, hey, yay! I get to drive with the maid of honor, the bride, and her mother, and they just tell me wherever the heck I need to go. It's like, yeah, all you do is you take me, the bride, and her mom, and you just take us wherever we need to go. It's like, great. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Amazing. They are good people, though, so it'll be okay. It'll definitely be okay. I mean, they are good people, though. I'm happy to still to play a role in it. I'm happy to help them, though. Still, get the razor out and that crew cut. Woo! Oh boy. I also kind of like. Yeah, exactly. Keep talking to yourself. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Craig's head is meant to be shaved, but he does it anyway. Well, I mean, that's the difference. So, I mean, some people know that their head shouldn't be shaved, but they do it anyway. I know that my hair, I mean, this is about what I've done with my head since, I mean, really since I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school. This is what I've always done. And I've never really had my hair any shorter, probably than 2 inches of hair, which, I mean, I know is obviously a drastic difference than this, but I don't know. Knowing how long with 2 inches being the shortest it's been since, oh gosh, I mean, high school for me now has been a little over 11 years now for me since I graduated. So, I mean, freshman year, that's about 15 years now. I mean, a decade and a half now of sporting this. I don't even want to know the horrors that hide on my scalp. That is just a little bit of the world that no one needs to see. That and my problem is, yeah, I used to wear hats a lot, hence why my hairline is all the way up there. Also, kind of why I liked having my hair a little bit longer, though, too, because helps hide that a little bit, which my wife makes fun of me for frequently. Mark, how's it going? Saying good day, everyone. Good day to you, Mark. Hope it's a good one there. Oh boy, I'm almost scared to read this, but Kenny says, "Okay, Austin, here's a bet. If your Packers win the Super Bowl, I grow my hair out and beard for a year, and if my Vikes win the Super Bowl, you have to shave your head and beard for a year." Well, I mean, to shave the beard part wouldn't be a problem. My wife actually prefers it when I have this fully shaved off, and honestly, as hot as it's been, it's actually sounding favorable right now. In the wintertime, though, that'd be hard. I like having the facial hair in the winter. It's like a natural face protector or insulator, perhaps is the better word. But uh, I mean that'd be just poetry, wouldn't it, Kenny? The I make a bet on your Vikings winning a Super Bowl, and that's what tips the scales of fate. Wouldn't that just be the irony of it all? uh, I mean, I don't. Well, I guess given right now, I have no idea when the heck the Packers are going to win the next Super Bowl. I thought 2 years ago we were. I thought 2 years ago that was going to be it. until we choked it against the 49ers. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that game was a total choke job. It's a classic case of the Packers not fixing their problems until it's too late. Special teams, wide receiver, defensive coordinator. About to hit our third offense on that now. But I guess, it is what it is. It is what it is. Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty. That's great. Oh, the Sunday streams would never be the same, Kenny. That would be amazing. Kenny Sporton and Uncle Siluck. Oh, man. Oh, guys, I'm not going to lie. I'd pay to see that. That'd be amazing. Oh, boy. How did we get talking about some of these things on this stream? Oh, well, hell now. We've reached over an hour 45. You know, what the heck? We just as well go for 2 hours. I will go. I'm good to go for 2 hours. After that, I need to edit my fish room video a little bit more. And then probably soon after, I'm going to hit the hay because I got a lot of sports writing to do tomorrow. We got games and lots of events on the horizon. It's going to be busy, 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 busy. Kenny, I wish I had the optimism as you did. Boy, 13 games. Boy, I don't know. For me, I think, boy, 13 games for me, that just, I don't see it. I do not see that. Like, okay, so for me, the ceiling for the Packers, or, okay, start with the floor, actually. The worst I see the Packers doing, uh, in my mind, is 5 wins. The worst case scenario, I think it's, what would that be? 5-12 or some. And I guess if Jordan Love, okay, actually, if Jordan Love is not the guy and he is terrible, like he is awful, the worst I see the Packers doing is like 4-13. Like that's the dead worst I see the Packers doing is 4-13, which would be very miserable. But I probably need to get a bigger fridge. But um, the best case scenario, like everything goes right. Jordan Love is the guy. A couple of our rookies, like one of the rookie tight ends and our rookie wide receivers, step up and do well. If if our defense doesn't underperform like they did last year, and they finally meet some of the expectations, or I guess by some I mean most of the expectations, and Joe Barry ends up not being a fluke hire, which I'm really rooting for, but I don't see it. Then I see the best case scenario. I see, everything goes right. The Packers win 12. And honestly, I think even that I think is generous. Like I see maybe 11. I think the Packers can win anywhere between 10 to 8 games, or 8 to 10, whatever order you want to put it. I do think that the Packers, yeah, if things go well, then yeah, I think Green Bay could sneak in as a wild card. And you know what? If they snuck in as a wild card, even if they were one and done this season, I would be thrilled because at least then I'm like, all right, we got something here still that we can build off of. Let's figure out what pieces we're missing and let's do this. But I don't know. 13. When you're talking about we played Detroit twice, we got Kansas City, we're road trip at Denver. Minnesota twice. I think we'll best case scenario, I think Green Bay splits with Detroit. I think they split with Minnesota. So that's two by itself. Boy, I'd like to think that they can. I think they're at least going to lose 1 or 2 games in the first 5 before their bye week. If we went in the bye week at 3-2, I'd be happy. If we went in the bye week at 4-1, I'd be thrilled. But I don't know. 13. I've seen some people even say 14 or 15. I don't see it. I think this year If we get 11 wins this year and just barely sneak in as a 6 or 7 seed for the if we sneak in as a 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs as a wild card, I'll be happy. I will be thrilled. Atkins, Seattle gonna do good up till the Super Bowl. Yeah, because they're gonna get on the 1 yard line and forget to run the ball. Sorry, after that, I will never let Seattle live that down. Bentley Pascal, if you ever see this, that's right. I will never let you and your Seahawks live that down. How the Lions did. Tell you what, the Lions over the last 2 years, I really liked their drafts. Their draft picks. I mean, at first, I about said the Minnesota Lions. What in the world? But I mean, the Lions. I mean, they've had some really good drafts these past 2 years. This year, at first, I was kind of sitting here wondering, like, what the heck are they doing? Like, because for a while they were getting like they drafted Jameer Gibbs, which I'm kind of like, why? You have DeAndre Swift, you have Jamal Williams. You don't need a running back, guys. What are you doing? And then they traded DeAndre Swift, and I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. But I don't know. That I don't know. That's me. But the Lions, they have sneakily built a very good team, and I mean, Detroit's going to play Kansas City right away on week 1 at Arrowhead. So, I mean, we're going to learn a lot about Detroit, about if they're, if the hype's going to be real. Are they going to be actual contenders, or did they maybe just get a hot spell last season? And, well, I guess, you know what? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. After the Seattle Seahawks got rid of Sherman, things just went downhill big time. I actually ended up having a Twitter conversation with Richard Sherman because he was sitting here saying like how no one's ever going to fear the Packers again. And I mean, I obviously, of course, when I saw it, I commented right away like, yeah, dude, no one knows what Jordan Love's going to do. Yeah, you could be right, but you could also be dead wrong. I mean, I understand some people got to say stuff to get a paycheck now that he's not, defending receivers anymore. But I mean, it's like, dude, we don't know jack. Like at that point, it was like 2, 3 months before preseason. It's like we haven't even seen the dude do preseason yet this year. It's like, dude, we don't know crap. We don't know anything. But and it's like, and honestly, I don't think Jordan Love has to be MVP level like Aaron Rodgers. If he's just average or above average, I think the Packers are a playoff team. And I think this year, even that's all he's got to be is just average. If he's like a mid tier quarterback or like maybe even Kirk Cousins level, dare I say, I know Kenny might be cringing me hearing me say that. If he even plays at that level or around that level, I think that, yeah, Green Bay can sneak in as a playoff team. I mean, I could be dead wrong too. I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times, but we'll see. If I had to pick any teams, I'd say Tampa Bay Bucks and Saints. I've always liked the Saints. My third pick would probably be the 49ers. My father is actually a Saints fan. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, meh. Didn't care for him much when Brady was on there because obviously, well, Brady and them, well, I'm more frustrated at our coach for that game. But 49ers, I want to root for the 49ers because Brock Purdy is the man. But I don't know. I mean, the, as a Packer fan, the 49ers have hurt me way too many times. I just have such a hard time rooting the 49ers. And I mean, George Kittle, he's an Iowa guy too. I mean, I just the 49ers as a Packer fan, San Francisco has hurt me way too many times. I just can't root for them. I just can't. NFC's week, there will probably be a couple of not so good teams that make the playoffs, at least one. Oh yeah, I mean that'll probably be the cup. I mean that'll probably be your 6 and 7 seed. I still don't know why they added that stupid 7 seed. I don't like it. I think the top 2 seeds should have the bye. That's me. But I thought 6 was fine. But I mean, yeah. I mean, the NFC really. I mean, Super Bowl contender wise, who's really in the NFC that you think of? Out. I mean, yeah, there's the Philadelphia Eagles. But I mean, even if the Lions do turn out to be good, I'm sorry, they're not Super Bowl contenders. They're a playoff contender, absolutely, or so we think right now. But they're not winning a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, they're still missing some big pieces off that team. But I mean, outside of Philadelphia, what? Maybe San Francisco. I know some people want to argue the Cowboys. I'm sorry, no, not the Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm sorry, I don't see. Dallas is a playoff team, but they're not a Super Bowl contending team. I I don't believe that for 1 minute. And yes, part of it is also because I just don't like Dallas, even though Green Bay has kind of had their number over really the last decade. Well, maybe just shy of that, maybe not quite that, but I don't know. Like, they just can't get out of their own way. Sometimes is Dallas's problem. They can't stay out of their own way. I mean, just look at the last 2 years of how they've been eliminated in the playoffs. They they it's self-inflicted. Like Dak when he ran the football with however many seconds left. I mean, yeah, it's the Cowboys. Their woes, a lot of it are self-inflicted. I just, I think in the NFC, yeah, you got two for sure Super Bowl contenders in Philadelphia and San Francisco. Maybe one or two more might emerge out of there, but I mean, no. The AFC definitely has the lion's share of contenders. I mean, holy crap. I mean, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Bills. I mean, one could probably argue the Jets right now. Oh, I mean, with Rodgers and all that youth right now, I mean, they were literally a quarterback away last year. The Jets, they're going to be scary. And I don't just say that. I mean, I honestly, I kind of prefer the Jets to not be good because Green Bay then will get their first round pick, and if they get a first round pick and the Jets are terrible, well, then that's a better pick for the Packers later on. But unless something catastrophic happens to Rodgers, because technically the deal was Rodgers has to play at least 65% of the snaps this upcoming season, which unless a catastrophic injury happens, that will happen. So, I mean, hell, he was playing on a broken thumb like the majority of this past season. So unless it's huge injury, that's going to happen. Let's see. Well, it's almost midnight, guys. I'm going to edit more of my video. Well, I can tell I've already bored some people with the football talk because I've noticed the views gone down a little bit. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and bounce, work on the video here a little bit, take care of these guys here surrounding me here real quick, and probably call it a night here soon. But guys, thank you all so very, very much for hanging out with us here today and just chatting football a little bit here along with mostly fish and aquarium related stuff here, guys. Really appreciate this. Let me know also in the comments here as we wrap this up. Would should I do maybe a late night stream once every month, every once in a while? Like, you guys all tell me in the chat. Do you think we should maybe do this once a month to where one Monday out of every month, maybe we do a late night musing stream instead of the normal 5 o'clock Central Time? Y'all tell me. Or if you're watching the replay, give me your input too. The more inputs I have, the more compelling or the more compelled I am to, go a certain direction. But yeah, I promise, guys, that fish room tour video, I am going to get this done this week. I know I've said that a couple times now. I swear it. This is going to be it. I'm gonna get it done. It's gonna be a longer video, so be ready. Maybe when it comes out, get yourself a little snack, get yourself a little drink. Make yourself comfortable. We'll have a lot to go through, but yeah, that's all I got for right now. Otherwise, if you want to go ahead and thank you all to the members, my moderators, Fish Fam Link, Zen Ginger, Liquid Zoo OnlyFans, Peplin Creek Aquatics, and of course my amazing wife, Mrs. Freak, as well. Appreciate all you, as well as all the members and all of y'all checking in here, watching the stuff here. The support is greatly appreciated. I will see you all in my next video, everyone. As always, stay fantastic.